Hello YouTube, this is Bash, bringing you here for the fourth battle of the NPL Tryout tournament, in the fourth battle of the battle pools of the Tryout tournament. We are up against UltraPlayer and the Philadelphia Soldiers, whose team consists of Landers, Tarian, Infernape, Scizor, Megalteria, Militank, Spiritomb, Mesprit, Jolteon, Garbodor, Vaporeon, and Sceptile. And my team, of course, consists of Victini, Suicune, Como, Sylveon, Nidoking, Raikou, Mega Aerodactyl, Registeel, Sneasel, Lurantis, Z captains being for me, Como, Sneasel, and Lurantis, Z captains for him being Lando T and Spiritomb. So, going into this matchup, I'm very surprised to not see the Jolteon, as well as the Vaporeon. I was unsure if he was going to bring it or not. I was kind of hoping he would, honestly, but guess not. I was a little surprised that Garbodor didn't show, because I thought he would try to hazard stack me as well as all my other opponents, so that's that. My sets real quick are Big Aerodactyl with Stone Edge, Ice Fang, Earthquake, and Defog, Suicune, Rest Sleep, Tuck, War, Scald, Registeel, Toxic, Protect, Seismitoss, and Toxic, Nidoking, Sludge Wave, Ice Beam, Earth Power, Thunderbolt, Como, which is Bulk Upset with Substitute, Drain Punch, and Ice Punch, and then Raikou, Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, and HP Ice. So I'm gonna lead off with Raikou. I could tell right away if it leads Landers. I could tell right away if it's Scarf or not, and if it's not Scarf, I could pretty much almost take it out right at turn 1. So that would be amazing. Also, it has a pretty good matchup against pretty much every lead on his team. So I'm gonna lead with Raikou here. He's gonna lead off with Landers T, and this is where I get to see if he's Scarfed or not. If not, HP Ice has a chance to take him out here. So I'm just gonna go for the HP Ice, make the safe play. As he goes for the U-turn play, which is fine. And he's going to go out to Mesprit. I'm going to get off HP Ice on here, and it reveals that he is actually AV. I'm just going to try to get some chunk down on this, because I just need this little chip for combo. So I'm going to go for a Shadow Ball here. And it does nothing, but it's still AV, and it's still nice damage. And then I'm going to Volt Switch out here to see what exactly he wants to do. If I can Volt Switch out into like Nidoking or something like that, or Registeel and get Brox, that would be really nice. But he makes the excellent play and goes to Landers Tarian. On this play, I almost considered going to Mega Aerodactyl, because I knew he was either going U-turn or Earthquake. And just in case, I didn't want to risk Mega Aerodactyl, because that's such a crucial part of my draft plan. And Raikou isn't as important, especially with the Vaporeon not being there. So it's not really that big of a deal. So I'm just gonna stay in. If he overpredicts, that's fine. I'm gonna after this turn, and he goes for the Earthquake, takes me out. I immediately could go out to Mega Aerodactyl, because I know he's Scarfed here. And I'm just gonna click Stone Edge. And if I had a title for this episode, it would be Miltank is something about like Wide Lens, I guess, or Paris, because you'll see in a minute. As Mega Aerodactyl, I'm going to go for a Stone Edge here. Mega Ball, go for Stone Edge. Doesn't hit the Miltank. I'm kind of wondering if he's actually Bright Powder at this point, but not the first time. But he's going to go into Miltank. He's going to go for Thunder Wave. I kind of thought he would go for Thunder Wave or Rocks or something like that. So I didn't really want to risk Mega Aerodactyl. So I'm going to go into Nido. That's why I went to Nidoking. Nidoking is a pretty decent switch in, and it's not especially since the Jolteon isn't that big of a deal. So I'm just gonna go for the Sludge Wave here, not over predicting. He goes into Mesprit. I'm gonna take the chunk on this, and then this thing 2 AKOs with Sludge Wave. So I'm just gonna stay in, hoping that he over predicts. I don't think he's gonna click Psychic or something like that on this turn. I think he's gonna go for the knockoff, predicting the Registeel to come in. So I'm just gonna go for the Sludge Wave again, and I 2 AKO here. As he just goes for the knockoff, that's fine. I don't really need my Sulfus at this point. He's not any really special attackers on his team. So I'm just gonna go for another Sludge Wave and take it out. And now at this point, he's gonna be able to bring in Landorus or a Landorus, I would think, but he's going to go Infernape instead. And I actually had a chance, I believe, to live this, depending on his set, I think. but it was a really minimum chance of living anyway. So he's gonna go for the. I'm gonna just stay in. Did not want to get Mega Aerodactyl chipped here. I didn't want to with Suicune to get weakened, because Suicune has a lot of things to check, such as now the Scizor, Lando T, and Infernape. So I'm just gonna go for the Earth Power in case he tries to set up as well. And he just goes for a Flare, but doesn't make the over prediction. Now here I could have went Como, but I decided I think I needed some more chip on Omega Altaria. I could have went for a sub here or something like that, but I didn't think it was. I thought it was a little too early to bring out Como, so I'm just gonna go into Mega Aerodactyl and press this thing out and go for another Stone Edge. And guess what? We miss again. Yeah. That's two in a row. I haven't landed a move with Mega Aerodactyl yet, and it's not gonna get much better. But I'm gonna go out into Registeel here and try to get my rocks. I don't want anything else getting Thunder Wave really. He gets up his rocks. He goes for the Thunder Wave here, and I'm able to get my rocks at least here. But I want to get a Toxic off on this Miltank, and here's pair 1. How many pairs can we get in a row? So he gets to he's going for another Seismic Toss, and I'm gonna get paired again. And this is just really crucial because Registeel, I needed Registeel from Mega Altaria, and I only really wanted. I could have only just taken 25, like not even like. How much did it do again? Oops, live editing here. Let me just check real quick. Let me go back a turn just to make sure. So that did what, like 27%? I would have been down only at 73%, and I would have switched out. So I would have had this for Mega Altaria still, but unfortunately that's not going to work. And because at this point I'm already down at 50%, I don't see why I should. I kind of really want this Toxic off, and I'm already down 50% at that point, so I just stayed in. Probably made it. That's probably a bad play, but at this point, Mega Altaria pretty much at +1 could be really annoying with the EQ. On Registeel anyway, I'm already paralyzed, so it's like if I didn't get either one of those pairs, I would have been fine. But I would have been because I would have been able to switch out the next turn. I probably would have went out to like Suicune or even Como, and I would have been able to just be annoying to his team. But instead, Registeel is brought down really far low at this point, and it's looking pretty bad because now Mega Altaria is not really checked at all. So other than maybe Suicune, he's gonna go into Infernape as I go for a Protect. And at this point, I gotta just let this thing go down. This thing doesn't beat anything on his team. This literally doesn't beat anything on his team anymore. Even Mega Altaria. So at this point, I'm just gotta let this thing go down. I actually could have, if I actually had it, depending if he's Adam or Jolly. I think at Jolly I might have a chance to live at that point. But it was also a very slim chance also, but so it didn't really matter that much. So at this point, I believe I go into Suicune. I could have went to Como again, as I said, but I was scared he would just go for a close combat again, and I wanted to get damage off on stuff. So I'm just going to have to Suicune, take a close combat, as I'm just going to go for the Scald, take this thing out. Maybe I should have went for the Roar, predicting the switch, keeping that thing around, because then Como could set up on Infernape. But I don't think he's going to go for Flare Blitz for the rest of the time. So, then we got Mega Altaria comes out, and immediately I'm going to go just Roar. I do not want this thing set up, because it could be really bad if it sets up. He's going to go for the D-Dance, and I'm just going to Roar out here. And Lando T is going to come in here. I'm just going to Scald, see if I can get a bird here. I don't think he was going to stay in here. He goes for the U-turn. As I'm just going to go for the Scald again. Try to see if I can get a burn on Mega Altaria, because that would be nice. At this point, I probably could have went to Mega Aerodactyl and just pressured this thing. But, because he reveals the Roost, and he's now back up to full, and I need this thing chipped, but that's fine. Lando T comes back out. I think he's going to go for the U-turn here, but again, so I'm just going to go for the Scald again. Not really anything else to do. As Mega Altaria comes back in here again. I get the Scald. No burn once again. 2 turns in, no burn at all. He goes for the D-Dance. I'm going for a Roar. I'm not letting this thing set up at all. I'm just getting leftovers recovery. He goes out to Meltank. And I could have made a play here, but I decided not to. I'm just gonna go for a rest here. I could have just let this thing take me down a little bit. And I could have subbed up. You could just click Drain Punch on this with Como, which probably wouldn't have been the right decision here, as he's gonna go down here, bring me low. I'm gonna go for a rest, as it's not looking that amazing, but we'll be fine, I think. He's going to go out to Mega Altaria here, as I'm just going to Sleep Talk Roar, which is amazing. Did not want to deal with this thing. And he's going to go into, it goes into Scizor. He's going to make the double out. I'm just going to click Sleep Talk again, getting this thing chipped down. If I could get a Roar here, that would be absolutely amazing, but I don't. I get Rest, which is fine. But now he gets the Roost back up, which is annoying. And I just go for a Roar here. So nothing really happening that much. Scizor comes in. I believe he goes for he goes into Meltank here. I'm gonna go for a Scald, and this thing goes down. That's one of his mons down. And then he goes into Lando T. He tried, I don't know why exactly, maybe to get U-turn damage, but he goes for Earthquake. At this point, he lives at 1%. I could have made a play here into Mega Aerodactyl, because what I need to do is make sure that Mega Altaria does not come in. If it doesn't come in, then we're looking really good. But if it does, like, okay, I could have also made a play into Mega Aerodactyl the first time, because I wasn't sure if he's gonna go for U-turn or not. But if Scizor takes out Mega Aerodactyl, Como could set up on it, and that looks a lot better for me than which. In hindsight, it's a little late. Like, I can't change anything now, but at this point, like, I shouldn't have gone for the Scald. I could have went to Mega Aerodactyl, and then if he went for the U-turn, it would have broken the cycle. He could have gone out, and if he goes into Mega Altaria, I'd be able to pretty much take that thing out with a Stone Edge. If he went into Scizor, I would sack Mega Aerodactyl, make sure I get chip damage off on that, and then if he goes for SD, that's fine. Suicune's able to handle it, and also the Como is able to deal with it as well. So Como is able to deal with it well if he doesn't go for the SD, is he might just go for Bullet Punch, because then at that point then he doesn't have to overpredict with EQ with Landorus at that point. So I don't know. There's also another chance I probably could have had here, but which is this. I think this chance, I guess. I Roar out here, going, and it brings it back into Mega Altaria. He goes for D-Dance again. I'm just going to Roar again. I'm not letting this thing set up at all. As he goes back into Scizor. So, at this point, he's going to try to set up, I believe. I'm going to go for... I should have gone for a Roar again instead of this, which was a misplay. Because if I just kept roaring, it would have been fine on my part. Suicune was able to last this entire game. But he goes for a Quick Attack. I believe I go for a Roar again. Yeah, try to keep this thing alive. Because at this point, there was I just need to make sure Mega Altaria can't get up a D-Dance. He goes for a Roost. I'm gonna just go for a Roar again. As he goes into Scizor, that's fine. He's gonna go for a Superpower, which at this turn, I could have went Mega Aerodactyl, or could have went Como, and I could have practically won the game there at that point. It's hard to predict that, I would say, but that's what happens. I probably could have made that play. If I made that play, because he would be forced to attack, because I'm take him out next turn. If I sacked off Mega Aerodactyl there, that'd have been fine. I could have gone and I could have gone into Como for free and pretty much set up all over this thing for free. So in hindsight, it's like 20-20, 50-50, you know what I mean? Like, but unfortunately, I'm not gonna be able to do that. I didn't do that, and I clicked Roar instead. and now we're looking really bad because now I can't roar at Mega Altaria, and at this point, he's going to be able to bring in Mega Altaria, and I don't have any way to beat it if it gets up a D-Dance unless I burn it. And finally, I do get the burn. Which is amazing. But there's a little bad news with that, because what he's gonna he's gonna go for a second D-Dance, and I live. A Mega Aerodactyl lives at this point if he's just returned or whatever. But it turns out he actually is Facade, and there goes Mega Aerodactyl, and that's game. I don't have anything to deal with it. And I don't have any way to beat this now at this point, so I mean, there's nothing else I could really do. And I'm just gonna lose 1-0 to UltraPlayer. GG. I really wish that hacks against Miltank didn't happen. At least like one or two of them, because at that point I wouldn't be able to find out the Miltank set and stuff. But I wish. But there's also faults on my part where I could have made the play to win the game, but I played safe, which at that point I probably should have. Went for game, because I knew that Mega Altaria is such a problem, especially if I don't have a way to beat it with Roar. If I can't roar it out, so there's not much else to say. I have one more game left against Keegan or Fog. If I believe at this point, if Keegan loses, I think he needs to lose. Well, okay, so if he loses only one game, it comes into a 3-way tie between UltraPlayer, me, and Keegan, and it would be, I think, top 2 teams with differential. I believe it would work. If I beat Keegan, okay, so I'm pretty sure I just can't lose the next game against Keegan. I think that's what I need to make it into the bracket stage. Keegan's a really good player too. I believe he's actually part of the NPL already for the minors. I believe he's been for. So that's a really scary game, but it's a great way to prove myself. Especially if that gets me into brackets by beating him. So there. So at this point, we have one more possible match left. Possibly, if not, we might have more. Hopefully we have more, so GG to UltraPlayer. Thank you for watching. Bash out.